Hey guys, my name's Chris Cara. I have kind of built and worked the sound booth here at Whitehall Baptist Church. I know with the oncoming uh, epidemic of the coronavirus and stuff, I know that we've been everybody's trying to go to either a live stream or some kind of digital format. And I know we've been asked a lot about how we do ours. So I figured I'd run you through kind of a quick video and show you guys kind of what we're using, what our setup is, how it kind of looks behind the booth, and kind of what I'm doing during a service, and just kind of give you guys a little idea as to what I'm doing and what we've done to get it set up here. So that way, if you guys are looking to do the same thing or something similar, then you guys can use this as a guide, go with what you got, kind of things like that, just some of the ideas that we've used here. So let's get into it. Okay, so this is kind of how the first program that you guys would need is some kind of display program, presenter program. Some churches will use Presenter Pro. If you guys are using a MacBook, I have no idea what you're using. I'm not very familiar with Macs. We use the program called Proclaim, which is pretty cool. It's a cloud-based application. You have to pay a service for monthly. The nice thing about it is it's all done online. So Kyle can do work at home and modifies here if he wants to do scripture, things like that. Really nice. The cool things about it is you click on the background and there's a lot of media that comes included, which you can see on here. And the nice thing is you can type in, if you're going to do a service on Jonah or something, there's a lot of different preloaded things, and you even have sets that you can use, or things like that. So that's kind of something we use. Other nice thing about it here is they have um, things aren't loaded individually like they are in PowerPoint. They're loaded more into sets, to where, like, if I were to go on the left hand side here and click stand up, this is a singular song. You can type in your verses and then it modifies all of the songs all at once. It'll generate your slides. And the cool thing is if I were to do, like, this is a template, so this is like the page number in a book. If I were to move it, somewhere on one slide, it automatically does it on all of them for this set. Then you can go through the rest of them. It does the same thing kind of with verses as well. So if I look down here at my verses, let me find out the longer verses. So this one has 8 verses, for instance. You can type in what you're looking for right here, and it will pull it all up, and it will actually make your slides for you based on this. And the cool thing is you can come in here and modify the slide. So if I want the reference to go on every page, now it will go on every single slide. I can also have it include things like the verse numbers, where you can see it modify here, which I think we're going to start doing more, just so that way we can separate things, and if people are following along with their Bibles, it makes it a lot easier. But this is the main thing you're going to need, is some kind of presenter program. Obviously, this is also going to go onto our TV up top, as well as our live stream as well. What we did here, though, just to kind of give you guys a little bit of an understanding. So we have our computer showing that it has 4 monitors hooked up. We technically have 5. The first one is I believe, this screen that I'm on. The second screen is going to be the slides, which is our 2 TVs in the front. Our third one is usually the one that our program is on, but I'm having to use a different monitor just to do the recording. And then the fourth one is where our live stream is going to go. And we have this going to the foreground only, so it only sends the words. And when we did that, we wanted to make sure it's in green. So when we send it, it sends it with a green background, like that lime green you always see for the green screens. And so that way, when I get into OBS, it allows us to be able to rip that green off and use it inside of our live stream. The second piece of software you're going to need to download is going to be OBS. This is free. You can download it online. You just Google OBS. It's Open Broadcast, something I can't remember what the S stands for. Open Broadcast System or something like that. But this is what we use to actually do the live stream. It's kind of a little weird to kind of understand at first, but what you're going to do is you're going to set up the scenes on the left-hand side. So these are kind of going to be what you're going to flip through. So, for instance, we have our video with no text here. And you can see that we just have the image, which is our logo, and then we have the camera that's coming in from the display adapter. We have this one is doing our slides, which we don't have them running right now, otherwise it would show them. This is going to be the same slides that you would see on the TV in church. That way, if they're going to be doing announcements or offering or things like that, or if we just want to block out the video, if we're going to do things like alter call and don't want people on the live stream seeing what's going on in the front, we'll throw the slides on here to kind of help block that out. This is going to be our video with no text, and then we have one right here that's video with text. And so that's when our banner comes up, and when the slides are running, you'll see the words here. And so you can see that this is a window capture, which is going to be the slides. And the other thing to notice is on this right-hand side right here under the sources, whatever is like the topmost is going to be, they're layered. So that's going to be the most forefront to you. Whereas the camera's in the background, so the camera's the bottom, everything's kind of stacked on top of that. Then we have text. There's no text in there. But what I did here for the banners, this is just a text box. And what I did is I just clicked and held space down. So it made just like a huge banner. And then the nice thing about this now is I can actually go into here. And so you can actually see the text is just a space. I just spaced it out. Font doesn't matter, but what I can do now is if we want to change the color on the cross up top, let's say we want to do red one week or something, you just select color here, and I can change it to red, and now the banner just changes to red. Or, things like that. We can do like a gray color or pink or whatever we can do. Pick any kind of color we want. We can have it go to gray, and then we do okay, and then this is going to be a gray color banner. Things like that. We typically go with like the purple just because that's kind of what we like our cross to be. And it stands out really good. It makes it really easy to be able to read. We did our logo also, and just a note about our logo, what I'd recommend is if you're going to do a logo, if you're going to have a light color like white like ours, I would do some kind of black shadowing behind it. It just makes it stand out more. Is one thing I noticed. I tried doing a black one and a white one. I just didn't like the way it looked. We have our image again, which is just our logo that's on top of the text box that we did. And then the window captures our screen. If I open up Proclaim, take me just a second. Get this loaded real quick. It just takes a second to open. So at first, this kind of messes up. The little black box right here is just showing that Proclaim is opening. And you can kind of see Proclaim, but I'm going to go ahead and move this to a different screen. And then if I go on air, it shows the wrong box here. But if you go on here to where it says window capture and you click this, you can select what window you want to capture. In this case, it's going to be foreground only. So this is going to be text. And then so now if I go into Proclaim, which is this one here, and I select like a song or something, you can see the lyrics come here. And where there was a green background before, so if you see this one's just a green background, you can actually go into on this one. Yep, I can go into the window capture here, and then it's just the words. But what I had to do is if you right click, you go to filters, and you submit this to green, it will rip the green out. But if I go to blue, you can still see the green in here, or magenta or custom color. So if I switch to green, it rips all the green out in that slide section, which is why we did the background in green, and OBS can now go through and rip this out. And we did a lot of changing in here for the opacity and contrast and stuff like that to try to make sure we get the right colors, because otherwise it rips way too much out. But now this, the nice thing is I can come through here now and I can pick the lyrics, and this will all show up here. We're still kind of playing with sizing and stuff like that. I don't exactly like the, we're constantly making changes. It's even during the middle of church, we're making changes. Things, scripture may be too big or too small, and I have some people in the church that I'm messaging who I know are watching at home because I can see on Facebook Live who's watching, and then they can say, hey, the word's too small, can you make them bigger? And then on the next slide, I'll throw them, and they'll be a little bit bigger, so that way they're easier to see for some different people. Some people are watching their phones, some people are watching their TV, things like that. So it really depends as to what people are watching on also. So that's kind of how we did that, and now you can see if I click the no text, the text will fade away. For the fade, I use the fade for the transition, and I make my duration 1200 or 1400 depending on what the week is. Some of them it just seems to like fade in and out too quickly for different things. And then I also have a couple of other ones. The desktop recorder is what I'm using actually on a different screen right now to be able to record this. So that's what I'm using here. And then so we use this program. We're going to do a start recording if we want to record. We can do Studio, which I really recommend for kind of starter people. The nice thing about this is the right-hand side is kind of what they're going to be seeing on their live stream for Facebook, things like that, Facebook, YouTube. And then the left one is kind of like a worksheet, so I can change all this here, and nobody's going to see it until I click the transition here. And then once it transitions over to this, now the people on the live stream will be seeing this screen right here instead of this one. And I can change all these to where, I can transition. It makes it really nice if I want to transition between my text and my no text slides, like during the sermon, then I can just kind of switch back and forth between them. Usually when Kyle Stone's preaching the sermon, I'll count to 10 in my head and click the button and let it kind of transition out really slow. But if you want to do the studio mode like this, the only difference is when you click these, they actually change. So if you want to work on a slide, like in here, so what we were doing is when Kyle was preaching, he was here and this was here. I can actually make modifications to this screen while he's preaching, and then when it transitions back, we'll see the changes that I just did versus having to save it and things like that. That's studio mode. If you guys want to use studio mode, for the settings, this is kind of a pain to set up. Here's what we use. I use dark for most things on my personal computers and everything. There's going to be your updates. We don't really do much in here, realistically. Stream, you're going to want to go into here and you're going to pick your service. YouTube and Facebook. The only downside about OBS is you can only do one at a time. So if you want to stream out to Facebook, you have Facebook, or if you want to do YouTube, you can do YouTube. There are services out there like Caster, where if you guys have the money, you can do like custom, and you can type in the server name for Caster or one of those services. They'll put it in here and then put the key, and then it will go out to the service, and the service can do what's called, multiply it out. So you can send it to Caster, and then Caster will go to YouTube, Facebook, your website, all that kind of stuff at the same time. But for the most part, we use Facebook. This week I actually have two separate OBS services going at the same time. One's going to Facebook, one's going to YouTube. It takes a toll on the computer, and the computer is running really slow, but it was able to do that. So that's what I was doing there. Inside of the settings, that's the stream settings. On the output, you're going to want to go into here. We were having a problem with the stream being able to start, so we took this off and it's encoder X264, and that seemed to fix a lot of the issues. We also resized it to where it's only doing 720p because that's what most people are able to watch on anyway, and it's a lot slower or a lot lower resolution, so it allows us to be able to push it a lot faster. For the bitrate, I pushed this up to 2000. I think it's 1200 by default, but that makes it look a lot clearer. And this is all the rest of our settings. Recording, you just put where you want the recordings to go. You have the audio tracks here. The thing with the audio tracks is it will show, well, I'll get to that in a second. So this is where all the audio tracks are going on here. Audio, you got your bit right here. We don't really do much of this, same with the replay. So the audio in here is a little bit different. You are going to want to set up, if you want desktop audio coming back into it, which we don't. So what we do is we have our computer hooked into a soundboard here using a USB, and we'll play the overhead, and so we'll push it out to the soundboard, and the soundboard comes back in to the computer using the USB, and that's how we are actually recording our sound here using a USB. So all of our audio comes into the soundboard. I mix the soundboard back here using headphones, and then that's what's getting pushed out to our computer. It's getting pushed into OBS here, and then that's what's being outsourced to the live stream. So that's kind of how we have everything set up here. This is just the video for the computer. I just have it running 1080p because that's what the computer's on. Hotkeys, I don't really have anything under hotkey. The nice thing about here is a lot of people, you can set up the 10 key if you're not using the number pad and have each of those to be a specific hotkey if you want to have it to start stream, stop stream. I just use everything using a mouse. It just seems to be easier. I think I'm going to look at trying to get some hotkeys set up, but I don't have any right now. Advanced, I don't really have anything in here set up that I did, but that's kind of the standard for OBS. I don't think if there's anything else. I think that's pretty much it. It's really cool. The nice thing about it is you can kind of throw all of your inputs and your sources in here, and you can really modify them and make them look exactly how you want. And you can lay things out and make them to where they're really nice and really easy to look at. If you guys are going to do something like this, though, it's sometimes easier to be able to make a very complicated slide like this and then rip this stuff out. So you can actually come in here, if I wanted to delete this slide now, just remove it. And then I can come in here and say, I'm going to duplicate the slide and say video, no text. And now that I have that, I can move it up here. And then since this is supposed to be the no text slide, I can go into window capture, remove that, and then I can remove the text box also to be able to kind of get them the same. And now when I transition between the two of them, they kind of look as if, you know, they're the same because nothing really moves. So I think that's about all we really do for OBS as well as Proclaim. We have this Proclaim shooting the slides to a green screen. This is pulling the green screen in, ripping the green out of it, and displaying it here. And then realistically, if you guys have never done the stream before, you guys can come into Facebook. I'll just pull one up here. I'll just go into the Facebook thing. I need a different program. This is mine. I need the church one, which is under Kyle's. So we'll go into Facebook, and I can go to Pages, and there's the Whitehall Baptist page, and inside of here, there's a live button. So if you guys have never done a live stream before, this is kind of how you get started, because I didn't know when I first started. Here's the live stream button. You click the live stream. You go up to here for connect, and inside of connect, it will give you the URL as well as the live stream. You don't need the URL, you just need this key. You would copy the key, and then you would go under the settings here. You go to stream, you got the Facebook, you got the server by default, and you would just paste that key here, apply it, okay, and then you just start a live stream, and you'll see it right here turn green, showing that it's sending it. And then when you go into here, it'll take a second, and then it will usually show a preview. You can go in here and put what you want. In the title page, I would do like usually Sunday morning service, and then I'll just put the date in here, and then you just click go live, and it'll start live here. The only other thing to notice on Facebook that I can say is OBS and Facebook. Facebook doesn't exactly look like it does in OBS. When you're doing the preview for the live stream, it looks a lot lighter, and it will be about 20 to 30 seconds behind. So when you end your video, make sure you end the stream in OBS first, and then wait until the video in Facebook is where it's supposed to be, and then you can end it here, because that will allow it to be able to finish out the stream where you want it to finish. The other thing to notice about Facebook is you can kind of see where our microphone is here. So this is our input from our soundboard coming directly in, and what this does is you're going to want this higher. Sometimes it looks like it's in the red line, and you're like, ooh, that's going to be really high on Facebook. It's really not. You don't want it to where it's clipping necessarily, but I put it just under where it's clipping, because otherwise it's really, really quiet on Facebook, and I've had a lot of people say, hey, that's really quiet. I used to run it, you know, like somewhere in here, because it would be somewhere in the middle of the yellow, and some people on the TV at home saying, hey, we can't hear. So I bumped it up to where it's just on the green and the yellow. That's kind of where we are. But I think that's just about it. So here's kind of the video stream. Sometimes it doesn't necessarily show up here, so don't really freak out about that. You can just click the go live, and then you'll see everything switch over. YouTube's kind of the same. I don't know that much about YouTube yet. We've only ran it once. I did notice that YouTube does not work very well at all in Edge, so we have to use Chrome or Firefox for that. But if I go into YouTube, it's kind of the same way. Up on the top here, there's a go live button, and then you'll see it kind of come up here. I will also post, and you can do like a new stream here, and then you can see it here. Then they will give you once you fill all this out, it will give you the key like it does on Facebook, and you post that in there, and then it will stream to this one too. But again, if you're going to do that, you have to have two separate OBS sessions going, one for Facebook and one for YouTube. And what we did to be able to get around that is I have my two sessions going, and so I'll have like one like this, and I already have two sessions going, but that's fine. This is going to give you this error saying, hey, you're already running one. Is it okay to run another? You're just going to say yes. And then so I'm going to have a second one here. And the other thing is you're not going to be able to get the camera here. So what I did is I do my Facebook one. I go to studio mode. So it splits it, and if you right click on the right one, which is the one that everybody's actually seeing, you can actually do a full screen projector program. And what this will do is this is actually kind of a preview now. And then so what I can do is I go into, this is my Facebook one, I can turn the studio mode off now. And then on this one I actually created an OBS slide with a window capture. And so this is actually just capturing what my Facebook one, my preview Facebook. So now whenever I change anything on my Facebook, it automatically changes on my other one as well. So kind of a way to get around it. It will copy the cursor though, if you're on the Facebook. So you don't want to have this screen right here on the screen that we're sampling. It's just, I have these usually on a different screen than what I'm doing all my clicking and stuff on, just or that the preview box is on. So I do have a lot of stuff, as you can see, running all at once. You don't really see all that, but you do see quite a bit of stuff running. Um, but everything's kind of layered. It is really complicated as what we're doing, and I'm trying to work on making it simpler. There's also things you can do, like build it what's called an RTMP server, and so you push OBS to one singular place, and the RTMP server will push it out to multiple places. Something I'm working on, hasn't gotten there yet, but this is kind of a semi-in-depth, kind of quick overview as to how we're doing exactly what we're doing at Whitehall Baptist Church. If you have any questions, feel free to throw them in the comments in YouTube or message Kyle or myself or whatever, and we can see if we can help.